This is a Fox News alert. These are long voting lines in Arizona. That was yesterday's chaos at polling sites across the state, particularly in Maricopa County, the population center of Arizona. That chaos continues today. There's a live picture from vote counting underway in that county, which includes Tempe and Phoenix. We are told we received new results at the top of the hour out of that county, but they are apparently still delayed. What is going on exactly? Harmeet Dillon is the chairwoman of the Republican National Lawyers Association. She's in Phoenix tonight, where legal challenges may soon be underway. She joins us now. Harmeet, great to see you. What is the latest in these two races?
Well, the latest, Tucker, is that the Maricopa County party is way behind. The county is way behind in counting these votes. And one of the reasons here is that they switched a couple of years ago to what's called a vote center model. So instead of the old-fashioned model where you would go vote in a precinct, they actually cut the number of places you could vote by 2/3. So it made it a little harder and less accessible to vote. And then they don't have pre-printed ballots when you go to vote. So wherever you wander and show up, they then print a ballot for you, which takes time. And if the printers are screwed up, and the tabulators are screwed up, which is what happened in Maricopa County despite testing, which is the job of the county officials, then you have the chaos that you're seeing on the screen there. And you have 2-hour lines. You have poorly trained election officials who aren't used to this model telling people they can just go to another place to vote, but they can't. When they go to the next place, they're told they've already voted. This disenfranchised voters yesterday, and we went to court with the two campaigns and the RNC to go and try to get a judge to keep the Maricopa County voting places open longer. The judge rejected this, and so people were disenfranchised by this chaos. And so there's a lot of things that when Kari Lake becomes the governor of Arizona, she needs to do to convene a legislative session to make several changes, I believe, to Arizona law so that this never happens again and that people can have confidence in the outcome of the elections here. We still have a third of the ballots that haven't been counted. I mean, compare and contrast that with Florida, where they had results very quickly. And that's as a result of all this experimentation and other shenanigans that are going on, like Mark Zuckerberg's organizations still giving in-kind contributions to the recorder's offices in Arizona, even though Zuckerbucks have been banned. So I could go on and on. There are many problems with Arizona voting, but we're pretty close to hopefully getting a couple of new leaders there who will help turn things around.
Yeah, this stuff really matters, and shame on the outgoing governor, I would say, and the Secretary of State. Harmeet Dillon, thank you very much for that update. So we're continuing to hear we're going to get more vote totals from Arizona. As you just heard, a huge percentage of all votes cast yesterday have still not been counted. If we get those numbers this hour, of course, we will tell you. We're going to go to Kari Lake, who is running for the governor of Arizona, one of the most watched races in the country. She joins us tonight. Kari Lake, thanks so much for coming on. Where do you think you are in this?
Well, I feel 100% certain I'm going to win. The question is, how big will that win be? Can you believe this, Tucker? We still have 650,000 votes that have not been counted. And guess who these voters are? They're the people who showed up on Election Day. Right. They're the people, 275,000 of them are people who brought their mail-in ballots to the polls on Election Day because they don't trust the mail and they don't trust the drop boxes. So guess who those voters are? There are voters. And we're only down by a few thousand votes right now. When those votes come in, I think we're going to see a lot of liberal minds kind of blowing up.
This seems, I mean, I'm not alleging a crime, but broadly speaking, it's just criminal to screw it up this badly. Like, did anyone know this was going to happen? Are you confident that it's on the level? It's just so outrageous. What is this?
I'm not shocked at all. I mean, they've been calling me an election denier. I've been sounding the alarm on 2020 November 3rd election, which was disastrous. And we had problems in the August 2nd primary as well. And now we have the same problems. They have all this time to get this figured out. And you know where the main problems are? 20% of those machines went down, the tabulator machines. And I noticed they were primarily in Republican areas of town, Arcadia, Anthem, a lot of different areas. It was really a shame. We ended up voting in a very liberal part of town because we can choose which vote center to go to. And they said they'd had no problems. The bigger issue is we can't keep having this problem. This is what I've been trying to say. I want all Democrats, Independents, and Republicans to trust in the system. And when I win, and trust me, we will win this, this is going to be top of my agenda. Day one, I'm going to take my hand off the Bible. We're issuing a declaration of invasion at the border, and I'm getting my lawmakers, I'm getting the legislators to a special session to change our elections so that they are fair, honest, and transparent, and we get rid of those machines that are not reliable. And really, obviously, we saw what kind of problems they can cause.
Well, it's insane. If you're serious about elections, you vote on paper ballots, right? You don't use electronic voting machines. Right. France doesn't. I mean, if we really wanted secure elections, we could have them, don't you think?
Yeah, you count on it. You don't have election season. You have election day, paper ballots, and you count them right there in the precinct. Harmeet talked about how they went to the vote centers a couple of years ago during COVID. We used to vote at our churches and schools in small precincts. Well, when COVID struck, we couldn't vote at churches and schools because they were shut down. It forced us into these big vote centers where it's a lot easier to have problems. We're going to go back to small precincts where it's easier to detect problems and easier to fix them. And it'll be easier to hand count votes as well. These are some of the things I'd like to see happen. I'll work with the legislature. The U.S. Constitution says our lawmakers, our state lawmakers, are the ones who are to determine our election laws. And I know we're ready to solve this problem. We're sick of being the embarrassment that Maricopa County has made us become, and we won't do another election like this.
Amen. If you care about democracy, you need to convince people it's on the level. And what happened in Maricopa County yesterday does not. Kari Lake, I appreciate it so much. Good luck.
Yeah. Thank you.